Xbox intends to release their first new gaming handheld this year with a partner company. And the next gen Xbox is still currently planned for 2027, but the Xbox Handheld is coming this year potentially. Now, it's going to be in partnership with a third-party company, but it's going to be Xbox branded. So this is going to potentially mean a new Windows handheld with an Xbox UI that's catered to touch, to console input, controller input. This is huge news, and I've been waiting for this for a long time. Let's get into it. I'm Blazed, okay? Let's get hyped up. But first, check the links down below in the video description for some really cool deals. The best tag, PS5 deals, Steam Deck deals, Smart Ring, $10 off your first Instacart order, and the best probiotics, and a bunch of other cool stuff like the best coffee, which I'm sipping right now. Let's get into the news.
Let's go.
So guys, this comes courtesy of Windows Central. Exclusive Xbox's new hardware plans begin with a gaming handheld set for later this year, with full next-gen consoles targeting 2027. Now, I don't know if this means that Xbox are not going to release their own hardware solution to a portable Xbox. We've obviously seen Phil Spencer's been hinting at that for a while. Phil Spencer's very fond of handheld gaming consoles. He's had a Steam Deck, he's had a Lenovo Legion Go, he's had an ROG Ally, he's played with a lot of these other handheld devices, and he loves them. He loves taking his Xbox experience on the go. But one thing he's always complained about is that obviously they just don't feel like an Xbox, and that's been a sticking point not only for Phil Spencer but for people that have picked up a lot of these Windows handhelds. Windows just isn't optimized for handheld controls, right? It's a desktop operating system at the end of the day. It's a computer. It's not meant for touching the icons on the screen. It's not meant for, it's just not a console like something like the Steam Deck is, obviously, right? It doesn't have that console UI. And Phil Spencer's, not beat around the bush. He's basically said they don't feel like an Xbox. And that's hopefully going to change here. This is going to be Microsoft's first full foray into PC gaming handhelds, and it's going to be a partner device set to launch later this year with its own Xbox Series X and S successors now fully in production. So obviously maybe this is just them testing the water to see, maybe they've done the software for this, maybe they've already worked on the software, and this is just them dipping their toes in the water to see how it's received, how this dedicated Xbox handheld is received before they push out their own Xbox handheld branded handheld, which I think is maybe going to come alongside the new next gen Xbox in 2026 or 2027. And it's still going to be fun. It's still going to be exciting because obviously this makes the handheld gaming market, which I love dearly. I've obviously built this channel a lot on Steam Deck News, Nintendo Switch, all that sort of stuff. I love gaming handhelds. Being able to just pick up a gaming handheld and play AAA releases in the living room, in bed, is just a game changer for me, especially since having kids. Let's see what it's got to say. So this is what it could very well look like. I mean, how cool does this look? I think this is obviously designed, this is like an AI image, or it's an image that's, it's basically an ROG Ally or an MSI Claw, I believe, but they've added Xbox buttons on and added like green RGB around the sticks. Very cool. And obviously the Xbox control buttons and that D-pad, which I'm not a fan of. I prefer the normal D-pad. But anyways, let's take a look at what they've got to say. So here's your first glimpse at Xbox's next-gen hardware plans, and some parts are being executed more quickly than you might think. The Xbox Series XS generation has been a bit of an odd one. Microsoft's Xbox console hardware sell-through has declined quarter over quarter for some time, but Xbox's addressable monthly active user base has been skyrocketing, owing to the purchase of Activision Blizzard, armed with mobile games like Diablo Immortal, Candy Crush Saga, and Hearthstone. Atop of core games like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Microsoft's future in gaming is all but guaranteed. But what has been a little less clear is Xbox's plans for hardware. And as we know, obviously, let's go back to the software. They've been putting a lot of their exclusive franchises over on PlayStation. We've seen Forza Horizon 5, we've seen the Forza series, we're getting Master Chief, which is coming to the PlayStation, which is unbelievable. I would never have thought in a million years we would have seen Master Chief in the Halo franchise on PlayStation, but here we are. We've seen a lot of big franchises, including Indiana Jones, which is their new IP, come over to PlayStation, and we've seen it be a pretty big success. And I think it's good. It's just not good for those of us who, are core Xbox fans that have an Xbox that want exclusives for the Xbox. Xbox will still get games exclusively day one. At least that's what Phil Spencer is basically doing right now. But ultimately they will make their way over to PlayStation, whether you like it or not. Microsoft want to get their money back from all the purchases they made, and as far as gaming is concerned, including Activision, Bethesda, you name it. They want to recoup some of that money, and that unfortunately comes at the expense of having to put it on PlayStation, because PlayStation is the dominant force right now as far as gaming is concerned, just because of the IP and exclusives and the console sales. I mean, you can deny it all you want. You can say PlayStation's pretty crap, but they are selling PlayStation's at like 3-1 or 4-1 as far as console sales are concerned. That's just the way it is, sadly. But yeah, in the meantime, addressing users where they are is far more cost effective than what Microsoft would need to spend to acquire new Xbox console users potentially. However, the strategy has been questioned for the long-term damage it might do to the Xbox console hardware. It is going to hurt Xbox console hardware because, again, we bring up the point, like, why would I buy an Xbox console when I can buy a PlayStation 5 and play PlayStation 5 games and exclusives, as well as Xbox games and exclusives on a PlayStation? Again, I think this hurts competition. I think if there's only one big player in the market that gets all the stuff and there's not any healthy competition, I think it hurts us gamers in the long run, right? PlayStation gets comfortable. Over the last few months, I've been working to figure out exactly what that might look like, and here's what Microsoft seems keen to continue servicing its legacy Xbox audience with new hardware regardless. And over the past few months, I've been working to figure out exactly what that might look like, and here's what I've learned. First up, it seems like Microsoft is working with a PC gaming OEM, think Asus, Lenovo, MSI, Razer, etc., on an Xbox branded gaming handheld. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Razer, honestly. Surprisingly slated for later in 2025, and that's a pretty big deal. I wasn't expecting an Xbox handheld anywhere near this year. I was thinking it was going to be slated to come alongside 2026 and 2027 alongside the new Xbox next gen hardware. Maybe have it, like a portable Xbox and an Xbox console. Maybe they don't want it they don't want it eating itself, eating their own sales. They don't want the handheld competing with the desktop, home console. Who knows? Maybe this is just like testing the waters. But I think Xbox could really come back into a league of their own with an Xbox handheld. I think that would be great. I think obviously Xbox consoles have been kind of falling flat on their face alongside PlayStation, just because PlayStation have such a strong lineup of story exclusives with characters that people really care about, and Xbox has been just kind of putting one flop out after another, delays, features that are half-baked, all that sort of stuff in a lot of their games. So I think something different is what Xbox needs, and I think a gaming handheld would hit the mark, I think, because obviously Nintendo just don't seem to care. They're putting out a handheld, but they're not really going for the audience of PlayStation and Xbox. They don't care about AAA games. They don't care about new releases. They don't care about graphics. They're doing their own thing. They're in their own lane, releasing Mario Kart, Mario games, Nintendo games, first-party Nintendo games like Pokemon and stuff. They're really not bothered about the competition from other handheld manufacturers that are releasing, handhelds that play more than that. But yeah, later 2025 if plans are met. Codenamed Keenan, this gaming handheld will look unmistakably Xbox, we're told, complete with an official Xbox guide button and Xbox design sensibilities. Given that this is a partner device similar to the Lenovo's SteamOS partnership with Valve, I expect this handheld to be more PC oriented. It will likely run full Windows, putting the Microsoft Store and PC Game Pass front and center alongside the ability to install things like Steam. So I will be very surprised. I mean, I won't be surprised if it's essentially going to run Windows, have the Microsoft Store, and do run full Windows. It should run Steam, but obviously selling games, software sales is a big part of what companies make money off of, right? It's a big part of what makes Xbox money. They're not going to make as much money as they could if they locked out Steam. I don't think the gaming community would allow Microsoft to release a handheld and not allow them to install Steam, right? They would want to, but it wouldn't turn out well for them. They're still going to make money off their titles that they release through Steam. They're just not going to make the full shebang, right? So they're sort of between a rock and a hard place here. They can lock out Steam and just get absolutely trashed and no one buy their product, or they can allow Steam and just make slightly less money by selling games through Steam and getting a cut of it, like a 70% cut of the profits. But this device will likely serve, at least in part, as a research experience for Microsoft. I expect this handheld will test new Windows 11 device-aware capabilities while reducing third-party OEM bloatware that are typical of devices like the Lenovo Legion Go and Asus ROG Ally. I expect Microsoft will leverage widgets on the Xbox Game Bar on PC for controlling things like TDP and fan speed, while hopefully having a more streamlined OS experience for controller use. Of course, existing PC gaming OEMs will benefit from these efforts as well, but the research will help with Microsoft's further out plans. Because, indeed, our sources are also indicating that Microsoft's internal successor to the Xbox Series X and S platform has been fully greenlit all the way up to CEO Satya Nadella, and for now I understand that Microsoft's next-gen hardware plans include a premium successor to the powerful Xbox Series X, alongside its own Xbox gaming handheld. And they're saying it's going to release alongside Xbox's own gaming handheld. And let's not forget, Xbox are really good at making hardware. They always have been. Well, they haven't always had Red Ring of Death, Xbox 360. But as far as like the Microsoft Surface is concerned, and a lot of the hardware devices that they have released over the past couple of years, they are really good at making solid, reliable, sexy even hardware devices that look something akin to an iPhone, or at least something that could compete with an iPhone as far as design and just how well it's put together. And I am excited to see them make their own gaming handheld. Not to say that Asus MSI can't make a good gaming handheld. Doesn't make you want to get it. But I think Xbox's own hardware could be a big deal. And I'm excited to see that. And if we get a little stopgap measure, because it is going to be a couple of years, Phil Spencer did say that it's going to be a couple of years before we see an Xbox officially branded Xbox handheld. Well, an official Xbox hardware handheld that they've designed and made. This is a good little stopgap measure, and it'll give us a little taste of what's to come. And I think that's really awesome. And it'll give some competition to, Legion Go, ROG Ally, and more importantly, perhaps the Steam Deck, which runs Linux, not Windows. Tentatively, it seems that these new console devices are slated for 2027. It seems that the next-gen Xbox consoles will be closer to Windows than ever before, reducing the amount of work developers have to commit to when porting from PC. I understand they will continue to support backwards compatibility with legacy Xbox games too. However, Xbox President Sarah Bond previously announced a project team specifically designed to promote backwards and forwards compatibility for existing Xbox games. To that end, Xbox lead Phil Spencer has teased in previous interviews a desire to support third-party storefronts on Xbox hardware too, including platforms like the Epic Game Store, GOG, itch.io. How many people use Epic Game Store, GOG, and itch.io? Are you a PC gamer? Do you use those platforms? I refuse to buy anything on the Epic Game Store until it comes out on Steam, honestly. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, the re-release of that game, it came out on Epic Game Store first for a while. I believe it was like over a year, maybe 2 years. I refused with every fiber in my being to get it on the Epic Game Store because I didn't want to have the hassle of installing the Epic Game Store on my different devices, like the ROG Ally, like the Steam Deck, figuring out how to have different storefronts. Steam is just a lot easier. Sorry, I'm sick. Steam is just an easier platform to work with, and it works across everything. I waited till it came out on Steam, and then I got it. There's every reason to presume that AI will have a role to play next gen, as well as Xbox cloud capabilities. Microsoft's new controllers have direct-to-cloud connectivity, from what I've been told, and more intelligently allow players to switch between different devices. Of course, there are plenty of logistical issues to overcome with regard to some of these plans. Always note that plans might change between now and 2027. Consider this a preview of what could come to pass as we wait for official reveals from Microsoft itself. A plurality of devices are on the way for Xbox fans, new and old. And again, back to the whole Xbox Play Anywhere mantra that Phil Spencer and basically Xbox keep repeating. Xbox's multi-device feature revolves around meeting players exactly where they are, regardless of device, geography, or playstyle. Its acquisition of Blizzard Activision accelerated that vision, anchoring Microsoft as a gaming company for the foreseeable future. Microsoft's slate of upcoming Xbox games is stronger than ever, and the possibilities for integrations between Game Pass, Battle.net, Cloud, and Microsoft's mobile games also offer tantalizing potential. Microsoft's strategy has de-emphasized its own Xbox console audience as its main growth vector, however, which has put stressors on the brand. I've argued in previous editorials that Microsoft needs to bring its core audience along for the ride rather than leave them behind, and its hardware plans seem to be doing exactly that. By linking Xbox to Windows, Microsoft can cast off the need to build a system that is completely lockstep with PlayStation features and power. Microsoft could potentially target a more powerful box, more in line with higher-end PCs, giving developers an easier time to optimize their Windows PC version specifically for the next-gen Xbox console. Thanks to the Xbox Series S, Microsoft already has a large amount of games that could more easily be ported to a handheld-type system too. The strong possibility that these future systems will remain backwards compatible ensures that those of us who are digitally locked to the Xbox ecosystem will have a place to upgrade in the future. Future Xbox games will likely be Windows-oriented, hopefully with Xbox Play Anywhere as a default licensing model. Of course, there's still so much we don't know and only speculate upon for now. Price, specs, features, developer support, and beyond are for future reports. At least for now, it seems Xbox well and truly remains all in with hardware, and I think that's great news. Just imagine though, if Xbox released an Xbox handheld that runs Steam games, and as you know, PlayStation have their games on Steam. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man, God of War Ragnarok, Ratchet & Clank. PlayStation exclusives are making their way to Steam. They have been for a while for gaming PCs. How ironic would it be for, us complaining about Xbox exclusives going to PlayStation? It could go 360 if Xbox just unleash their console, the new Xbox, whatever it's called, unleash this new Xbox and their gaming handhelds to run full Windows, then essentially they'll be able to play PlayStation games as well. So basically they'll be stealing PlayStation games in PlayStation, the PlayStation audience on PC back from PlayStation. So the whole argument that why buy an Xbox if I could play Xbox games on PlayStation, the same could be said essentially if that happened, if they unleash the new Xbox and Xbox handheld to basically run full Windows and Steam. They'll be able to play PlayStation games, so they'll be have future parity to some extent. If anything, the new Xbox will do more than the PlayStation will, because it'll run full Windows and be able to do a lot more and play different storefronts and run different storefronts, and obviously allow gamers to get access to more games than what are potentially on PlayStation itself. So yeah, it's exciting. Xbox handheld coming soon. It's a first taste to what Xbox are working on as far as their own hardware, and I'm here for it. And I can't wait to see what their hardware partner is going to be. Is it going to be Razer, MSI? Is it going to be Asus? And where does this leave Steam and SteamOS? I am excited. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. As always, sorry for a rambly video. I just get super hyped up when we're talking about handhelds. As you know, I'm a massive handheld geek. I love them. Anyways, I love you. I appreciate you. Check the links down below in the video description for some really cool deals. The best tech, the best stuff, best coffee, best TV, best probiotics, as well as $10 off your first Instacart order. I'm Blaze, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll try to get better. I'll stop coughing on videos. Anyways, peace out. I love you guys. Let's go.